Coming up, schools back in session across the Suncoast. What administrators in Manatee County are doing to make sure students and bus drivers are ready. Plus, a local state house candidate under fire after reports she lied about receiving a college degree. And a best-selling author sets the record straight on some of the biggest misconceptions about Islam. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story today at noon, the first day of school is underway for both Manatee and Sarasota counties. Teachers and students hit the books first thing this morning, and bus drivers hit the roads. ABC 7's Marla Spence gives us a closer look.
The first day of school in Manatee County is finally here. Bus drivers left the district's transportation department before the sun was out to pick up close to 16,000 students. Each driver was greeted with smiles and waves by administrators, including the new superintendent, Cynthia Saunders.
We're here just to thank the bus drivers for getting up and showing up and being here. They're the first person of the district that our students will see in the morning when they're arriving to go to school, and we just want to tell them how much we appreciate them.
And as you know, we finished up in the session with the Parkland incident and making sure our schools were safe and the kids were safe. So it's good to be out here with some of the school board members and see the people who actually transport our kids from A to B and keep them safe in the process.
The district has spent the entire summer preparing for the new year. Just last week, bus drivers practiced taking their routes. New this year, tablets installed on all the buses, which will be used to check students on and off. There's also a new app launching on the district's website today to help parents track their child's bus route in real time, called Where's the Bus app. Parents are being reminded that if they have any questions about their child's route, call the district's transportation department. I'm Marla Spence reporting in Manatee County for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you. And with school buses back out on the streets today, drivers keep in mind if you're driving on a two-way street or on a road divided by just a paved median, cars in both directions are required to stop until the school bus arm is withdrawn. Drivers behind the bus must also stop. Law enforcement will be patrolling school zones today, so be patient. Give yourself a little extra time throughout the week. An update now on a local state house candidate under fire after reports she lied about receiving a college degree. Melissa Howard is a Republican candidate for State House District 73 in Sarasota and Manatee counties. Howard posted pictures last week of a degree in transcripts from Miami University in Ohio in response to a news report claiming she never received a degree there. But now Miami University's general counsel is saying the degree in her picture appears to be fake. Telling ABC 7 in a statement, quote, the picture of the diploma that was posted on the Howard for House 73 Facebook page does not appear to be an accurate Miami University diploma, unquote. Howard's campaign and the Republican Party of Sarasota have both declined to comment. New developments out of Manatee County and a shooting in Palmetto. Shots were heard on 9th Avenue Drive East last night. Manatee County Sheriff's Office says someone left the scene in a white four-door vehicle. 2 homes were hit by projectiles. No one was hurt, but the search for a possible suspect is ongoing today. And deputies are also looking for 3 suspects accused of shooting at a pedestrian with a BB gun in Bradenton. Just before 8 o'clock last night, deputies say 3 men drove alongside the victim in a black Chrysler 300 in front of Cox Chevrolet dealership on Cortez Road West. They fired 2 rounds from a BB or pellet gun, hitting the victim in the leg. Anyone with information is asked to call Manatee County Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS. New at noon, a New York Times best-selling author talked about the myths and misconceptions of Islam in a standing room only presentation in Sarasota. ABC 7's Ray Collins was there and joins us with the story. Ray?
That's right, Scott. Mark Weston lived in the Middle East and now lectures about demystifying Islam. Over 100 people came out to the First Congregational United Church on Euclid Avenue in Sarasota to hear about his book called Prophets and Princes. Now, Islam was founded by Muhammad in Saudi Arabia. I asked Weston what the biggest Western misconception is.
People don't realize that the majority of Muslims are good, honest, law-abiding, religious people. They're really good people, and Islam is one of the things that made them good people. There's without a doubt, very small minority of Muslims who are crazy, and they're the ones we have to deal with right now. But Islam as a whole is, it's a wonderful religion, and the Islamic world is full of good people.
He also says he doesn't think most people realize that how closely related Islam, Christianity, and Judaism really are. Scott, back to you.
All right, Ray, thank you. Our red tide bloom has led to deep dead sea life, empty beaches, and a hit to our tourism industry. And over the weekend, hundreds came out to say enough is enough. Organizers of Hands Along the Water holding a peaceful gathering Sunday, holding hands in solidarity along Suncoast beaches. The goal, to get the attention of state leaders, demand change, get more funding for cleanup and research, and get a plan in place for how to deal with the ongoing red tide crisis.
Doing nothing is no longer an option. We have to work together to protect our natural resources so that we can continue to live in Florida for generations.
This is a beautiful beach. It's still very beautiful. We just want to protect it.
Florida Fish and Wildlife will release its next red tide report on Wednesday. Mote Marine Lab updates its beach reports daily. So far today, Manatee County is reporting light amounts of fish washing up on area beaches. And in Sarasota County, they say over the weekend another 12 tons of fish were picked up from Lido Beach and 5.5 tons from Siesta Beach. Now, crews are on those beaches again today and beaches south in the Venice area, picking up those dead fish. We have a link to both of those reports and the rest of our coverage of red tide on our website. Go to mysuncoast.com/red tide. Welcome back now to meteorologist John Scalzi. We missed you last week.
Thank you.
Good to have you back. And yeah, some early morning storms last night, late last night.
Yeah, we had some storm spotters reporting 2 inches of rain.
I got 2 inches in my house.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people did, especially from about Northport through central Sarasota is where the heaviest rain was occurring. And yeah, it kind of tapered off just in time for the school buses, though, which was kind of nice. There were still some showers around that affect some communities, but mostly things were quiet, so glad to see that. Definitely. Things quiet right now on radar. That's the good news. Lakewood Ranch webcam put into motion shows a little bit of clearing, even a rainbow or two seen across the Suncoast, and now the clouds are beginning to build in inland areas. That'll be the next location where we expect to see some showers and possibly a thunderstorm or two build. Rain chance, really not all that great. I mean, we had good rain showers yesterday, and you can see most of the rains out in Gulf waters. In fact, it extends a good distance out into Gulf waters. We'll explain what's going on with that in our atmosphere right now and what it might imply for tomorrow's forecast in a few minutes. Temperatures across the region generally closing in on the mid-80s most everywhere. I think we'll probably top it off today in the upper 80s to near 90 with a rain chance of about 30% this afternoon, mostly in inland areas. We'll watch the rain chances go down as the heating of the day begins to decrease. We'll have the complete forecast for you in just a few minutes, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. New details today on a stunning theft of a plane right off the runway of one of the country's busiest airports. ABC's Clayton Sandell explains what could be next after the data recorder from the plane has now been recovered.
On the radio, Russell seemed giddy at times, chatting with calm air traffic controllers.
Have you been to the Olympics? These guys are gorgeous. Holy smokes.
Telling the crew on the ground he didn't need help flying.
I played video games before, so I know what I'm doing a little bit. I know how to put the landing gear down.
But with no pilot's license and no known experience piloting, questions about how he could take off and fly a plane like this.
There were some maneuvers that were done that were incredible maneuvers with the aircraft.
From the sky, glimpses of remorse.
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them.
The FBI says Russell had no ties to terrorism. The airline says he worked at the airport for 3.5 years, even posting humorous videos about his work on social media.
Look at all them bags.
As well as travel pictures with his wife.
Just a broken guy. Got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now.
Russell's tragic joyride ending in this fiery crash on a remote island 25 miles from the airport.
That was Clayton Sandell reporting. Caught on camera now, a miraculous emergency landing on a highway in California. The pilot dodging cars while successfully landing a single-engine Cessna right on the road there. It appears the pilot held the plane up just long enough for a gap in the fast-moving traffic to glide in. The pilot says he noticed a problem with the fuel pump and decided the best thing to do was just make an emergency landing. More on the latest breaking news. You can go to our, download our app. Just go to the App Store and look under WWSB or My Suncoast, and you'll find it there. Still to come in your Suncoast News today at noon, why a concerned mother is reaching out to parents to beware of a rare illness caused by a mosquito bite. And then later, how millennials are using dating apps to land their next job.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So it just took a little bit of heating to get the temperatures rising. We're at 85 degrees right now from a morning low in the upper 70s and a lot of sunshine out there. We'll have a heat index of 94 currently, going up to probably about 100 for a daytime high heat index, and the winds are out of the south-southwest at about 9. That westerly component to the wind is something that's going to be characteristic of the next several days, I think, and help to enhance the rainfall chances along the coastline in the morning and inland in the afternoon. 30% chance of those inland showers a little bit later today as our temperature climbs to near 90. And then we'll watch the rain chances kind of taper off until tomorrow morning, when we'll start to increase them again as we get toward dawn, and we probably have a few showers near the coast. We had some showery activity over the last 12 hours near the coastline, some of it heavy at times during the overnight, and now things have kind of lightened up quite a bit. This area of disturbed weather really reaches a pretty good distance out into the Gulf waters, but over land right now things are very quiet. We'll start to see perhaps a few showers build with the heating of the day in inland areas as that southwesterly wind is enhanced by the sea breeze and pushed further inland. as I mentioned, right now everything is very quiet, though if you have some errands to run, whatever, this afternoon looks pretty good for that. I think the showers will start a little bit later in the afternoon, late in the afternoon into the early evening most likely. So we have this kind of trough of low pressure that extends way out into the Gulf waters, plus a frontal boundary located just to the north. Now, over the next 24 hours, we'll watch this little trough of low pressure kind of lift out and move up toward the panhandle before it eventually just fades out completely. High pressure down to our south will again provide us with this westerly wind flow for tomorrow and possibly for the day after as well, though on Wednesday we're probably going to enter into a transition day before we see the winds begin to shift to a more southeasterly direction, which will be kind of typical for this time of year, and that tends to promote showers in inland areas in the afternoon, which drift slowly back toward the coastline later in the evening, something we're all familiar with. Kind of breaks the heating of the day. Nice to have around in the summertime, actually. It'll also probably aid in some of those red tide toxins near the coastline and help with some of the conditions along our beaches. West wind again today, coastal showers first thing again tomorrow morning, followed by showers moving inland in the afternoon again tomorrow and this afternoon as well. Now, over the course of the next several days into the weekend, we'll watch this humid air that's over us due to the westerly wind flow start to be replaced by the drier contours here indicated by blue that'll approach the area and perhaps trim down our rain chances as we head into the weekend. For today, southwest wind comes in at about 10 knots. You can pretty much count on that all afternoon. 2-foot seas, light chop. Of course, red tide still an issue. In the next half hour, we'll show you the map of what the latest Mote Marine red tide reporting is. 30% chance of showers for today and tomorrow. Again, along the coast first, then transitioning into inland areas later in the day. Wednesday, we'll call it kind of a transition day till we get to Thursday, in which our winds will be out of the southeast, more traditional wind direction for this time of year, producing showers inland first. You'll see the skies darken to the east, and then those showers will drift back toward the coastline as we head into the evening. That'll probably hold true on Friday. Drier air will arrive just in time for the weekend. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In HealthSmart, a mother is warning parents about the danger of mosquitoes as her son recovers now from a potentially life-threatening virus. Lori Ann Surrett says her 6-year-old son Noah started experiencing severe headaches before suffering from a seizure, and it all started with just a mosquito bite. Doctors later diagnosed Noah with a rare condition passed through a mosquito-borne illness that can cause swelling in the brain.
You want to watch to see, is the headache worsening? Is the fever persisting? If pain relievers aren't working, or if the child's becoming more and more lethargic, or like this family noticed, their child just didn't seem quite right, that's when you want to worry.
While Noah's case is uncommon, the CDC says illnesses from mosquito, tick, and flea bites tripled from 2004 to 2016. And experts say children are especially vulnerable. So remember, always be careful. Check for bites on your child. All right, time for lunch now. Let's head over to the kitchen and check in with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher and see what's cooking today. Hi, Judy.
Well, hi there, Scott. Being that people are so concerned and understandable about red tide, I'm really focusing on local fish markets, vendors, and restaurants that can educate us on exactly where the fish comes from. So this weekend, I was over at the farmer's market and I went to Maggie's Seafood. Double checked with them, and yes, where they're getting their grouper, snapper, all those local items, they don't come off the shores by Siesta, Lido Key. They go about 50 miles north in the Gulf of Mexico, or even farther. A lot come from Texas or way down at the tip of the Keys, so there's no red tide. So today I have this beautiful strawberry grouper. The name is not because of a flavor, but because of the color. We're going to bring it together with some Asian noodles and bright greens. I think you'll really enjoy it, and this will be a go-to recipe from here on in.
Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now, lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
New at noon, a surprising way you could find your next job through a dating app. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis explains how people are turning casual dates into business opportunities.
Okay, I have looked through a bunch of career guides, photocopied and highlighted key passages, and put them into alphabetical folders so you can make an informed decision.
Not everyone has a Monica from Friends to organize their job search. Some stick to traditional networking like Dakota Johnson in How to Be Single.
Do you want one of my business cards? Or maybe 400 of them so you could tile your bathroom?
But others, like Phil Van Nostrand, a freelance photographer, has found a new way to find work: dating apps.
I'm not necessarily using dating apps as networking, but if it turns into that, then I'm happy with that as well.
Phil says he's nabbed about 10 job referrals through dates he got on Tinder and Bumble, even a wedding gig where he could make up to $10,000.
The first time I got a photography job from Tinder, it felt really natural. I did the job, we went on a couple more dates, but the people that came on the shoot with us really liked what I did and hired me over and over and over again.
I think the most obvious risk to meeting someone on a dating app and ultimately working with them or for them is that you do risk setting yourself up for a really uncomfortable situation, or worse, reputational damage, being fired. What's really important is being transparent.
Now, some dating apps are capitalizing on users looking for job connections. Bumble created a new vertical for networking, Bumble Biz, attracting celebrities like Kris Jenner. And the team behind Tinder created Ripple, an app that lets you swipe left or right on a potential mentor.
Assuming you feel confident in the power dynamics or the boundary setting that might ultimately lead to, it actually does allow access to a group of people or a conversation or getting in front of someone that you might not get in front of otherwise.
As for Phil, he says he'll keep using his dating apps for potential love and professional interests.
Tinder and Bumble and Hinge and all of these other apps are just good ways to connect with real people in the world, and if you're a good person meeting a good person, then anything can come out of that.
Rebecca Jarvis reporting. All right, let's get back to the kitchen and check in again with Judy Gallagher, who's fixing some delicious strawberry grouper for us today.
That's right, Scott. So the first thing I'm going to do is get ready to make a little pickling mixture because we're using enoki mushrooms. We're going to take about 2 teaspoons of sugar, And then we're going to take some fresh ginger, peeled, cut into very small strips. And we're just going to stir that around, and we're going to cook it until all the sugar dissolves. It's about 3 minutes. And I already have some done. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. This is something that you can do first thing in the morning, is you're going to take some wild mushrooms and put them in the marinade once it's that vinegar, rice wine vinegar. So about a half a cup of rice wine vinegar. And then we have the enoki mushrooms, and I have already pulled them apart. They come together, but really easy. And you can get a mixture of mushrooms. I'll be making cream of mushroom soup tomorrow at home, so this is the perfect mix. Since I don't need all these mushrooms, I can save them. So basically, that goes into a container, shake it really well, and then let it just sit for about 20 minutes to do a fast pickling, is what we call it. Now let's take this gorgeous strawberry grouper. And again, a reminder, this fish, like most places, it's coming far, far offshore and way up by the north. So, and if you have any other questions about that, you can go on our Facebook page. We have some information on that, always updating the red tide. And we'll continue to let you know information on where fish is caught from local restaurants and markets. We're gonna sear that, pan sear that, about 5 minutes on each side. Then the oven is set to 400 degrees. Because they're thick pieces, they're gonna go in the oven for about 4 minutes. And I have taken some out. It is beautiful. Just brown and crispy on the outside, but so moist and tender on the inside. So now what we're gonna do is get ready for when we come back. We're gonna take those pickled mushrooms. I've cooked up some soba noodles, and I very quickly blanched some julienne carrots, barely enough to bend. I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll mix all this together with some bright seasonings, and we will have a fresh and safe piece of grouper for lunch.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
How do you open tough jar lids? Do you try this one? Or this one? Or how about this one?
Honey?
This is the future. Shouldn't there be a robot for this by now? There is. Introducing RoboTwist, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids. Just set it down, press the button, and watch it work. First, the RoboStrong vise locks down tight. Then the powerful twisting action unscrews the lid. RoboTwist is yours for the special introductory price of just $19.99. That's right, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids, all for just $19.99. Whether the jar is big or small, RoboTwist can open them all. Supplies are limited, so don't delay. Here's how to get yours today.
Call 1-800-347-1073. That's 1-800-347-1073. Or order online at buyrobotwist.com.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Our top story at 12:30, President Trump and the White House facing off against former senior administration aide Omarosa Newman, who's released audio the president she recorded. Those stories and the first day of school here on the Suncoast coming up next.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Well, topping our news now at 12:30, it's President Trump and the White House facing off against former senior aide Omarosa Newman, who is releasing audio she recorded of the president. ABC's Janae Norman has details as President Trump is now attacking her on Twitter.
President Trump is firing back on Twitter at former apprentice contestant turned senior White House aide Omarosa Manigault Newman, writing, "Wacky Omarosa, who got fired 3 times on The Apprentice, now got fired for the last time," saying she begged him for a job with tears in her eyes, and adding that people in the White House hated her. The president didn't dispute Omarosa's latest claim of audio that allegedly shows he says he didn't know she was fired. She shared that audio on NBC.
Omarosa, what's going on? I just saw on the news that you're thinking about leaving. What happened?
General Kelly came to me and said that you guys wanted me to leave.
No, nobody even told me about it.
In her new book, Unhinged, Omarosa says President Trump is a racist and claims multiple people told her about a recording of the president using the N-word on The Apprentice set. Whether that tape actually exists has never been proven, but Omarosa now claiming on NBC that she's heard it.
Once I heard it for myself, it was confirmed what I feared the most, that he is truly a racist.
Omarosa says after Kelly fired her, the Trump re-election campaign offered her this consulting contract that promised $15,000 a month and was obtained by the Washington Post. She describes the non-disclosure agreement as a hush agreement, as it states she could not demean, disparage publicly in any form or through any medium the campaign or Mr. Trump. The White House says that's simply not true.
That's not hush money. Everybody sends an NDA.
Omarosa admits she was complicit, standing by President Trump's side after he made racially insensitive comments. And despite his tweets about her, President Trump adding on Twitter that he knows it's not presidential to take on Omarosa. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
New at noon, FBI agent Peter Strzok is reportedly losing his job over texts he made that were critical of President Trump. Washington Post reports Strzok had been fired. He was the subject of a congressional hearing back in July. The now former agent testifying in front of the House Judiciary Committee for 10 hours. Strzok was criticized for using an FBI phone to slam then-candidate Trump, all while he was investigating Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server. New York Republican Chris Collins is suspending his re-election campaign after being indicted on insider trading charges. Federal prosecutors charged Collins, his son, and another man last week with 13 counts of security fraud, wire fraud, and false statements. Those charges stem from an alleged insider trading scheme centered on an Australian pharmaceutical company. If convicted on all counts, the U.S. Attorney's Office says Collins faces up to 150 years in prison. Right now, North and South Korea are holding high-level talks to discuss a move towards peace and prosperity in the Korean Peninsula. It's considered a major step for both countries, as South Korea and North Korea each sent their own delegation to talk about unifying the nations. Both sides are expected to come together again next month for a peace summit in North Korea. The search is on in the Philippines for a missing U.S. Marine who was on board the USS Essex. They were first reported as missing when the ship was conducting routine operations in the Sulu Sea last Thursday. The search is now a combined effort between the U.S. Navy, Marine Corps, and Filipino officials. History is in the making as NASA finally launches a spacecraft on a 7-year mission to touch the sun. Take a look.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff of the mighty Delta IV Heavy rocket. With NASA's
The Parker Solar Probe blasted off from Cape Canaveral early Sunday. It will fly closer to the sun than anything ever sent up before. The spacecraft will be passing within 3.8 million miles of the sun's visible surface while flying at a record 430,000 miles an hour. Just how fast is that? Well, that you could get from New York to Tokyo in less than 1 minute. Be interesting to see what it sends back from that pass, John.
Sure will. I mean,
we know it'll be hot.
We know it'll be hot. That's for sure. But you know, there was always that mystery of why it's hotter a few thousand miles off the surface in the atmosphere rather than it is right on the surface, because you know, you get further away from a fire, you'd expect it to cool off.
Yeah.
But it gets about 100 times hotter for some reason. I think they've figured it out, but they'll get some actual data that nail it down. So that'll be kind of cool, and lots of other stuff as well. So we are looking at some pretty interesting weather. We had some our own little lightning shows going on during the overnight. Produced a lot of rainfall around. Now the Case Key webcam shows plenty of sunshine as well. As we head through the afternoon, I think we'll see more and more of that as we go through the day, and my computer seemed to have stuck on that graphic. Interesting. I'm going to walk over to the computer and see if I can get it working. Basically, we are looking at pretty much quiet, rain-free conditions over the course of the next 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll start to see more of those showers begin to build in inland areas as we head into the afternoon. But even so, the rainfall chances will be a lot less than they certainly were during the overnight, that's for sure. We're watching a massive showers out in Gulf waters kind of continuing to stay there, but if you trace out the last 12 hours of lightning strikes, you can see a lot near the coast, and then a lot out in Gulf waters and not a lot near the coast. That's an indication that the heavier showers are really moving away from us, and we'll just be waiting for the temperatures to rise and bring us a little bit of that heating necessary to produce a sea breeze that'll kick in later this afternoon and give us that 30% chance of a shower inland. I don't think we'll see a whole lot along the coast for the remainder of the afternoon. We'll have the complete forecast for you in just a second, Scott.
All right, John, thank you so much. School is back in session across the Suncoast, and Sarasota County is welcoming officers on campuses across the district from their brand new police force. ABC 7's Jackie Kelly gives us a closer look at what's being done to keep students and teachers safe.
That's right. Over 43,000 students headed back to school today in Sarasota County School District, and the district tells me that students can expect to see a safer school this year. Schools will have or are developing a single point of entry, bulletproof glass, upgraded cameras, increased fencing, and panic buttons. Along with physical hardening of the schools, the elementary schools will have new Sarasota County School Police Department officers at their school, and the middle and high schools will have the SROs from last year. The new department's chief says that by this time next year, there will be at least one of the new officers in every school.
We are going to be employees of the school district whose whole sole purpose is to protect our children and to provide an environment where our teachers can teach them. We'd like to restore a period in time where you don't worry about this having happened.
And with it being the first day of school, the district wants to remind drivers to be aware of the buses and students crossing the road. Reporting in Sarasota, Jackie Kelly, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Jackie, thank you. Looking ahead, Sarasota police are trying to crack down on opioids with a drug take-back event later this week. You can help prevent prescription drug abuse on the Suncoast Thursday, the 16th, by taking your unwanted or expired prescriptions to SPD's headquarters from 5 to 7 p.m. The building is located on Adams Lane in Sarasota, and no questions will be asked when you drop those off. A downtown Venice road will be closed due to an ongoing construction project. Miami Avenue from Harbor Drive to Nassau Street will be shut down. It's part of an ongoing beautification project in downtown Venice. Crews will be replacing stormwater drains down the center of the road. The work should last for about 2 weeks, and detours will be in place through that time, so be sure to give yourself a little extra time driving through Venice. All right, back to the kitchen now. Let's check in again on lunch with Judy Gallagher. Judy?
Thanks, Scott. So the grouper, pan-seared, came out of the oven, was in the oven for about 4 minutes. You can see those thick, beautiful pieces of fresh grouper. It's going to be delicious. And we don't want to overcomplicate the fish because we want to bring out that natural beauty of it. Now I have soba noodles. Those are buckwheat noodles, and they're great because they're gluten-free. So it gives a lot of more options to people. And I'll use this in place of spaghetti often for family members. So I'm going to take those pickled mushrooms, and I put the julienne carrots. They barely blanch, and you don't have to blanch them. You can leave them raw and fresh and crispy. And I put them in that pickling marinade, and I'm going to toss it all around. I'm going to add a little bit of fresh radish. And again, I always say to shop your produce drawer in your refrigerator. I have a little chopped, kind of minced spicy pepper. That's a cherry pepper, red cherry pepper. Give that a mix. We don't want too much in there, just a little bit to give it a pop of flavor. And I have some snow peas and julienne those, give it some bright green. And then we have a little sesame seeds, toasted sesame seeds. And I just have some wild greens. Now, for those of you that don't like kale, I can tell you a friend of mine found me a brand. I love kale, but a lot of people don't. And she has a brand now that they actually brag that there's no kale in it. But they're great protein and power greens, and you can find them in almost every grocery store, which makes it really nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the soba noodle salad, and we'll just put it right in the middle of the plate. And I have a double batch because I am definitely going to want to use some more of this in a different dish. That, just with some chicken or grilled shrimp, is going to be fantastic. Little cilantro, and then I have the daikon radish, that Japanese radish with ginger, so it's almost like a daikon sauerkraut, and that will go just on top. And it marries well with the pickled mushrooms and things like that. And then I'm just gonna kind of arrange whoa, there goes one right off my hand. Arrange 1 or 2 mushrooms and then some scallions, and we are ready to serve. Fresh grouper that's safe to eat and really flavorful. We'll come back for a bite in just a few minutes.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Temperatures are rising and the deals are heating up during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new 2018 Jeep Wranglers. Or get the most awarded SUV of all time, a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, just another indication. It doesn't take much sunshine to raise the temperatures pretty quickly. We're at 85 degrees now. We have a south-southwest wind coming in at about 9 and a feels-like temperature of 94 because of all the humidity that's in the air. I think the humidity, along with those increasing temperatures, topping out at about 90, will help trigger off a shower or two in inland areas, maybe a thunderstorm as well. 30% chance of that. And then as we head into the evening, rain chances will trend down as the storms begin to dissipate and move further away. May see a shower or two build once again along the coastline tomorrow, though it'd be nothing like what we saw during the overnight last night. And that because last night, those showers were aided by a little trough of low pressure that's continuing to push away from us. That trough now located out in the central Gulf. You can almost see the motion of the storms moving toward the coast and then further and further away from the coast. That plus we have a trough of low pressure located to our north helping to destabilize. They put a weakness in this high pressure ridge basically. As that trough moves away and dissipates, we're left with this westerly wind flow again tomorrow. But it allows, as those features begin to move away, allows for that high pressure ridge to kind of inch its way a little bit further to the north. And so consequently our rainfall chances decrease just a little bit, I think, tomorrow afternoon, or at least by Wednesday. Winds out of the west again today, coastal showers first, and then those storms moving inland. We have one area that we continue to monitor for any kind of disturbance that may develop. It's a very small chance of any kind of tropical formation. If it did develop, it would move further and further away from the coastline. So the state of Florida really on this anniversary of Hurricane Charlie is looking pretty good, tropically speaking. Not looking so good in terms of red tide status, though. Every reporting station featuring some amount of red tide irritant in the air. Those flags in purple indicating a moderate amount of irritant, and those in red indicating higher amounts, intense amounts of red tide irritant floating on the breeze. So not a particularly good outlook, and hopefully as we head into later in the week and our winds start to shift from a more southwesterly direction where they are today to a more easterly direction, perhaps some of those toxins will be blown further away from the coastline. 10-knot wind throughout the afternoon, 2-foot seas. Not a bad day for boating with the exception of the red tide near the coastline. 30% chance of showers today. We'll go with 30% chance tomorrow. May be able to trend it down tomorrow too. Certainly we will on Wednesday as we enter that transition day. Winds out of the east finally on Thursday. Back to a more typical summertime pattern for us with showers building inland first and then drifting back toward the coast late in the afternoon or evening. And then as we head into the weekend, some drier air will reduce our rain chances a little bit. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Some breaking news now into our newsroom out of Clearwater. Prosecutors are charging the man at the center of a Stand Your Ground case with manslaughter. Michael Draka is accused of fatally shooting Marquise McLaughlin in a parking lot in Clearwater convenience store. Draka was not initially arrested after he shot and killed McLaughlin in July because of Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law. Pinellas County Sheriff's Office now says Draka was taken into custody earlier this morning and will be booked later this afternoon. We'll have much more in this story coming up in our evening newscast beginning at 4 o'clock. In consumer news, days after introducing its new smartphone, the Galaxy Note 9, Samsung is now reportedly ready to shut down one of its factories in China. The Electronic Times reports the biggest smartphone maker in the world is considering closing the plant because of slowing sales in China and rising labor costs. 5 years ago, Samsung owned 20% of the Chinese mobile market. This year, it's just 1%. Tesla and its CEO Elon Musk could be headed to court. 2 new lawsuits accuse Musk and Tesla of violating federal securities law by allegedly making false statements to boost the company's stock price. The complaints allege Musk looked to mislead investors by claiming on Twitter that he had secured funding to take Tesla private. But most of those gains have been lost in part due to reports that federal officials are now investigating Musk's claims. Tesla has yet to comment on the lawsuits. President Trump may be revving up a feud with Harley-Davidson for moving some of its production overseas. He's now reportedly encouraging Harley-Davidson owners to boycott the company. The company said it would lose up to $100 million a year because of the president's trade dispute with the EU. President Trump said the dispute was just a cover for Harley-Davidson to shift its production abroad. Gas prices are back on the rise again. This time they're up more than 2 cents a gallon over the past 2 weeks. Right now, the average cost across the country, $2.93 a gallon, which is about 53 cents higher than a year ago. The highest average price in the U.S., $3.69 a gallon in San Francisco. The lowest, $2.53 a gallon in Jackson, Mississippi. Here on the Suncoast, prices have been seen as low as $2.74 in Bradenton today. Still to come in your Suncoast News, we'll check in one more time with Chef Judy in the kitchen. And then We'll let you know how many people came together to set a new hopscotch world record.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
I work hard all day, and this is why. But taking care of my money has never been easy. Brinks knows what's valuable to me, making it easy to keep track of my money and pay my bills on time.
Here's to the strong, to the dependable, to the trusted. Your family counts on you. Who can you count on? The Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. With direct deposit, you can get your paycheck or government payments up to 2 days faster.
I don't have time to wait for a paycheck, cash it, and then run around and pay bills. Brinks knows what's valuable to me, time.
Call now or go online to get your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. There's no cost to order and no credit check. Load money onto your card and then shop online, pay bills, buy groceries.
I get a text alert every time our card is used, so we always know our balance.
And we're protected from unauthorized transactions. Brinks gives us peace of mind.
With Brinks, you can conveniently manage your money online and with the mobile app.
I get cash back on everyday purchases. Brinks knows what's valuable to me, saving money.
Call now or go online to get your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. There's no credit check and no cost to order. And with a qualifying direct deposit, we'll upgrade you to Brinks Preferred with extra benefits, including a savings account with up to a 5% annual percentage yield. And in this TV-only offer, personalize your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard with your photo for added security. Get paid faster with the Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. Manage your money on the go, anywhere, and get the peace of mind you deserve. Brinks knows what's valuable to you. Call right now to order your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard.
Call 1-800-290-8144.
There's no cost to order. Call now.
Another pair of satisfied emotions. Looks to me like elation and maybe some amazement. It's part of the Honda Summer Spectacular event experience. You could say satisfaction comes standard here, just like the Honda Accord comes standard with a luxurious, roomy interior. All at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
We see it all the time.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Accord, 2018's North American Car of the Year.
Smells amazing, Judy.
Nice,
just
fresh
amazing.
Strawberry grouper. And the waters are safe in the Gulf of Mexico that are far out, and that's where they're fishing. So fresh fish grouper from Maggie's Seafood, those soba noodles with a little seasoning and those pickled mushrooms make it really vibrant and light.
Really, lovely stuff.
Thank you.
Go to our website, mysuncoast.com, click on the dining button. It'll take you right there with all the video instructions from Judy herself, as well as the recipe listed out. This is tasty.
Good.
Thanks, Judy.
Glad to enjoy. Welcome back.
Back to you, Scott.
Thank you both. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 4 today, with school back in session, what one couple is doing to protect the community by serving on the Sarasota School District's police force. Plus, a new study claims red light cameras are not making roads safer. What Manatee County may consider doing with some of their red light cameras. Hope you'll join us this afternoon at 4 o'clock. In entertainment news, a star spills a secret about a box office smash. Wonder Woman hits the racetrack, and is there a new James Bond coming soon? Reporter David Daniel has it all in the Hollywood Minute.
Why don't you just put a tracker on it? Did you guys ever watch Shark Week?
Rainn Wilson says the hardest part of making The Meg was the part he thought would be the most fun.
You're like, oh man, I can't wait to do my scene in the water and have my lines and dive in. I'm so hot right now, and I fall in and splash. It seems super fun. And then about take 5 or 6 or 7, it starts to be like the least fun thing in the world. You're completely waterlogged, you're wrinkled from head to toe, it's exhausting, and you have to go over and over again.
A racing game?
Slaughter Race. It is wicked dangerous.
Meet Shank, a tough driver from an online racing game with the voice of Wonder Woman herself, Gal Gadot. She joins John C. Reilly and Sarah Silverman in Ralph Breaks the Internet. This new clip just hit the web. The movie opens November 21st.
Mr. Elba, right up this way, sir!
Idris Elba is sending mixed messages about rumors he could be the next James Bond. Sunday, the popular actor tweeted a selfie with the very 007-sounding line, "My name's Elba, Idris Elba." But a few hours later, he followed that with a photo of rap group Public Enemy and the title of one of their most famous songs, "Don't Believe the Hype." If Elba wanted to keep us guessing, mission accomplished. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
He'd make a good one, I think. Well, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, is reportedly in serious condition at a Detroit hospital. Right now, the 76-year-old singer is surrounded by her family. Franklin has been battling several health problems for years. Her latest performance was last November, months after she said 2017 would be her last year in concert. A photographer claims that actor Bill Murray slammed him against a door and then poured a glass of water on him. Peter Simon says he was on assignment covering a concert for the Martha's Vineyard Times when Murray swore at him and then threatened him. Simon says the band invited him to the concert and that he was not there to take pictures of Murray, but a police report says Murray was visibly upset that Simon appeared to be harassing him. No one was charged, but police told Simon he could file a criminal complaint. Children's TV legend Dora the Explorer is getting her own live-action movie, and she's growing up. Paramount releasing this brand new image of actress Isabella Moner playing Dora as a teen. The Nickelodeon cartoon was on the air for 14 years. The Dora Explorer movie opens next August. And yes, she does have her backpack. Finally, a group in New York says they have set a new world record for the most people playing hopscotch at one time. More than 700 people showed up to the event in Rochester, New York to take part over the weekend. The previous record was 650 people in Georgia that was set 3 years ago. Once the results have been certified, the Guinness Records management team will issue a group record holder certificate. So on this first day of school, your favorite game at recess?
Oh, hands down, dodgeball.
Dodgeball, me too.
Yeah.
Stop. Go stop.
What's that?
You know, red light, green light.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Simple.
Have a great day, everyone.